starting the junk removal process here. I'm working off the walls, dismantling the shelves, leaving all the things that are hanging on the walls. Here's one of our barns, the gambrel barn, just depositing some of the stuff, trying to keep it organized as much as I could. Here's the old hog barn, we call it, and this is where I organize all the picks and shovels. I really wanted to give this a good soaking before we laid in some sand. Oh, it looks like I over irrigated all of this, and now I'm taking the concrete rake and trying to distribute all the water across this whole floor. And I'm gonna bring in some rocks tomorrow. Instead of gravel, we went with sand because the native soil here is this blow sand, and we wanted to make sure that the blow sand doesn't sink in and this packs better with the existing surface that we have here. Here I am marking all the lines using my Klein laser level. I got it snapped at like 4 inches above ground level, and I had to sit and kind of decide what sort of elevation I wanted to start with, so it took me a little bit to figure that out. Here I am marking where the forms are going to go with spray paint and using a measuring tool and the laser level, of course. My sister came in to help. Shout out to her. All right, here's the pour number 1. We got the crew together. We got 4 or 5 hands. And then we got the neighbor's skid steer to bring the concrete to the very back end. The chute wouldn't make it in, and then the concrete truck was too high to go through the door. I think is a 11-foot truck and then 10-foot door threshold. Here we are screeding everything out and moving in, and then eventually, we just ended up using a little bit of the chute here on this pour. So we ran out of concrete here, so we had to just make a stopper board. And then here we are doing some bowl floating, trying to smooth out the edges, which we ended up doing a brim finish too. Okay, after we did the pour, we had to grade out the driveway. It had like maybe a 2-inch per 10-foot slope, so we used the tractor for that. All right, here we are, day 2. We're doing the door apron and then doing the doorway. And then here's a 16-foot span that we used, modified 2x4. It's very rough, wouldn't recommend. Please do yourself a favor and rent a power screed to go ahead and do this. There's lots of low spots, but we ended up kind of bull floating it in. And then here we are after the pour, just cleaning up some remaining stuff so I could do some pressure washing. Pressure washed every square inch of the barn here. And there's a lot of stuff that we kind of removed, and it worked out really nicely and turned out very beautifully. I wanted to show you a final product here real quickly. Here it is. Look at that autumn blaze maple tree, red truck, red barn, red. So here's the driveway, or the extra large apron. Wasn't the greatest finish here. We had some blemishes. We're not perfect. Most of that was because we were using this 2x4 screed, and we had a lot of low points with that. So this is all 5 inches thick, and then it's 20-foot long by 16-foot wide. And then here's the interior. We already are starting to move junk in. All this interior space is 4 to 5 inches thick. And then here's the phase 1 pour, and then phase 2 pour right here in the middle. And then the final thing I need to do to wrap this up is to reframe this door in right here. And then we're gonna be groovy. It is such a nice space in here now with the concrete compared to the dirt floors. And after pressure washing everything out, it kind of smells like cedar, like a lumber yard a little bit. So it's pretty nice. So pretty happy with the end product. Well worth it. If you could gather some hands to do a pour, I'd definitely do it.